What does it mean to be a queen? Not in the fairy tale sense. Not in the dress-up, tea party, unicorns, and tiara way. No, I'm not talking about fantasies. I'm talking about the archetype, the force, the reality. The queen is a psychological figure, one who orders the world, carries the burden of sovereignty, and acts with grace under pressure. A queen is not pampered. She is not helpless. She is not waiting to be saved. She is the one who rises, the one who speaks truth, the one who reigns. And if you're going to carry yourself through life with dignity, strength, and clarity, then you must understand this. You are a queen, and it's time you start acting like one. Look around you. Look at the chaos that creeps into your life when you stop aiming at something high. When you surrender to cynicism, to bitterness, to resentment. When you shrink instead of expanding. When you silence your voice because you're afraid of judgment. That's not sovereignty. That's servitude. That's you abandoning your own potential because the world told you it was too much, too loud, too intimidating. And that's a lie. You weren't born to be small. You weren't created to apologize for your strength. You weren't designed to beg for crumbs of respect at tables that were never meant to serve you. You were meant to build the table, to define the space, to organize the chaos. You were meant to lead. But leadership is not glamour. It's responsibility. It's carrying the weight of your own suffering and refusing to let it make you cruel. It's setting your house in perfect order before you go out and criticize the world. That's what a queen does. She doesn't rule through tyranny. She rules through competence, through discipline, through sacrifice, and through vision. And if you want to take your rightful place in this life, that's what you must cultivate. Now let me tell you what will stop you. It's not your weakness, as you think. It's your refusal to confront your strength, the parts of you that you've locked away because they make people uncomfortable. Your ambition, your assertiveness, your voice. Those things have power, terrible power. And with that power comes the responsibility to wield it properly. Because if you don't become conscious of your power, someone else will, and they will use it against you. Too many women today are taught that strength is masculine, that ambition is aggression, that order is oppression. Nonsense. That's ideological subversion. The queen archetype is not an imitation of male authority. It's the embodiment of female sovereignty. It's the call to confront suffering without losing compassion. To pursue truth even when it cuts deep. To cultivate beauty that nourishes, not seduces. The queen creates culture. She preserves wisdom. She sets standards. And you are capable of doing all of that. But you must be willing to pay the price. You must give up your need to be liked by everyone. You must stop contorting yourself into whatever shape pleases the crowd. You must stop living to avoid offense. That's the road to nowhere. That's the death of the soul. A queen does not dilute her voice. She sharpens it. She speaks not to manipulate, but to illuminate. She's not concerned with approval. She's concerned with the truth. Do you know what happens when you start walking the path of sovereignty? You become dangerous, but not in the way the world fears. You become dangerous to despair. You become a threat to mediocrity. You become a beacon in a world drowning in nihilism. You become a lighthouse, not a mirror, and that's terrifying to the people who want you tame. But you must not apologize for your fire. Now listen, you have been told your emotions are a weakness. They're not. They are signal lights on the dashboard of your soul. They are messengers. They are indicators. When you're anxious, your spirit is telling you something's misaligned. When you're angry, it's revealing a boundary that's been violated. When you're sad, it's mourning a loss, often of something deeply meaningful. A queen doesn't repress emotion. She integrates it. She understands it. She uses it. But she is not ruled by it. She is ruled by purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, you will suffer meaninglessly. That's the hell of it. You can't outrun suffering, but you can give it meaning. You can aim at something. You can strive toward the highest possible good. You can take responsibility for your own development. That's what makes life bearable. That's what turns tragedy into triumph. A queen is not a victim of life. She is a steward of it. That means you must confront the darkest parts of yourself. You must look into the abyss and not flinch. You must see the capacity for cruelty, for jealousy, for manipulation within you, and choose better. You must not pretend you're pure. You must be honest about your potential for both creation and destruction. Only then can you choose the good with conviction. Only then can you act with integrity, because innocence is not virtue. Virtue is strength under control. You are not weak. You are powerful beyond comprehension. And if you spent less time doubting yourself and more time disciplining yourself, your life would transform. Let me be blunt. You have no right to complain about the state of your life if you are not willing to take responsibility for it. Stop waiting for someone to come and rescue you. No one's coming. Not the prince, not the mentor, not the fairy godmother. This is your story. You must be the author. You must be the hero. You must be the queen. So start today. Start where you are. Clean your room, not just the physical one, but the psychological one. Start telling the truth, all of it, especially to yourself. Stand up straight, speak clearly, set boundaries, say no when you mean no, say yes when you mean yes. Stop living in contradiction. Integrity is alignment, and that alignment will give you power you've never known. Stop hiding. Stop pretending you don't care. You do care. That's why it hurts. That's why you feel stuck. That's why the mediocrity gnaws at you. Because you know you were made for more. You were made to rise, to build, to influence, to lead. You were made to birth visions into reality. That's what feminine power does. It doesn't just nurture, it initiates. But don't confuse softness with weakness. Don't confuse compassion with compliance. A queen can be merciful, but she is never a doormat. She can be graceful, but never passive. She can listen, but she won't be silenced. She can cry and still command a room. That's not contradiction. That's complexity. That's maturity. That's strength. And the world desperately needs more women who are willing to step into that role. Not the counterfeit empowerment of external validation and surface-level aesthetics, but the real empowerment of internal order, deep moral clarity, authentic authority. That's what the queen represents. That's what you are being called into. So enough of the self-doubt, enough of the playing small, enough of the excuses. Your potential is not a joke. Your voice is not accidental. Your vision is not irrelevant. You are needed. You are called. You are capable, but you must act like it. You must wake up every day with the intention to reign over your life. Not dominate others, but master yourself. You must develop discipline, learn to suffer with grace, and speak truth into the void. Because if you don't, you will be ruled by chaos, by fear, by other people's expectations. And that is not your destiny. Your destiny is sovereignty. Your calling is leadership. Your soul demands authenticity. And your life depends on courage. So rise, straighten your crown, wipe the tears, but do not hide them. Walk forward, not in arrogance, but in authority. Not in perfection, but in purpose. Not with fear, but with fire. Because you, woman, are a queen, and it's time the world saw it, and more importantly, it's time you did.